Hello everyone. I'm gonna start with a story. 2 days ago, when I just got here, I went to the Secretary of Illinois to get um, my ID card. When I went there, the lady in the front desk asked me about if I wanted to be organ donor. So in that moment, everything came to me. It was a really nice day, and you know, when somebody asks you about that, you immediately think in you, like dead or something like that. So that really shook me a lot. So immediately the only answer that I could say was no, because I was thinking, well, what if I die here, and what is going to happen with my body, and I don't have family here, and what is going to happen to me after die. So since that day on, I had a big question about what about organ donation, and what happens if I'm going to join the list to be organ donor, and what is going to happen after we die. So I'm going to read some statistics. 2,100 new patients per month are added to a waiting list. That means it's like, you know, a lot of people that are waiting for an organ. And 16 or 17 people are dying every day. So today I'm going to talk about shortage of organ donors in the United States. That means that people, even when we have heard about the issue, we feel like we don't want to, or simply we don't know the ways to become in an organ donor. So the first point would be disinformation or misinformation. I haven't heard anything till that day that I went to get my ID. So people here maybe don't know either, or probably I was only me, but we can now see like a really campaign to invite people to involve in the big issue, that is that we don't have organ donors enough for cover the demand of organs. The next one will be organ market and myths. So these three things together, I think, is the most popular things that you can like mention about what is gonna happen to the shortage of the organ donors here. So talking about disinformation, I don't know if there is a waiting list that you can join in 2 ways or 3 ways. One is when you go to the Secretary of the State, you can join the list, just agree that they put in your ID card or driver's license that you are be able to become a donor after you die. The next one, there are organ procurement organizations. So if you are interested to becoming organ donor, you can go online and check one of these procurement organizations, and they are gonna put your name in the list. The ways to become an organ donor, so you just have to give your name, and if there is a big data where all your information is going to be kept in case that somebody needs an organ, and your organs are like perfect for them. So in this point, we know that we have another resource to become just in case that we need it. So organizations are available, but I think that they are not doing a really good campaign calling people and invite, because there are many misunderstandings about being an organ donor, and I think so families and society, the society in sí, we are not ready for that because nobody tells us the truth. So another point is the organ market. There is an organ market. Like they say that it's illegally here, but people that usually needs an organ, they need to, how the things work. If a patient is approved for get a transplant, they have to join a waiting list, and they have to wait a certain time. As soon as an organ is available, they are gonna get the organ. In the United States, people that have money, usually they can buy organs and pay the treatments from his pocket or her pocket. So, another thing is, if you have money, you could go to another country. Many countries like South America or Asia or wherever, they can do transplants really easy and cheaper than here. Okay, about organ market, famous people that they have money, that I was saying before, usually they can get better places in the list. So I'm gonna talk about Steve Jobs, that is of course a famous person here. He was living in California, and if somebody needs a transplant, they have to wait in their state for the organ. But he had the transplant in Tennessee. So it was like a huge controversial topic, because why he didn't wait till an organ was available in California, and he just got the transplant in Tennessee. So I don't know if it's true, of course, but they said that definitely if you have money, you can join different states, the waiting list, but you have to have money to travel, and you have to have money for pay the treatments in the state. So that means that usually it's not like the famous people can buy a place in the waiting list, but if they have money, it's easier for them going to the state, in a state, and try to find a place for the transplant. So that is the thing that is happening. Okay, and another point in this one is the corruption in the medical community. So basically, people misunderstanding that, maybe if you are in the waiting list, if you are organ donor, you think that doctors are not going to save your life because they can know and they need your organs. So maybe that's a misconception that most of the people have, because and that's the fear that they don't want to be becoming organ donor. So of course corruption always is gonna be. Okay. And the last point is myths. So myths are the bigger cause for the shortage list of organ donors, because we heard about stories about that we watch TV, we see many shows where they only talk about, okay, if you give an organ, the people is gonna be like you, or maybe you're gonna save the life for people that is gonna be serial killer or something like that. So people usually is scared about stories that they have heard. So I think it's one of the most the biggest cause for the shortage. So, for example, transfer of donor traits to recipients, that is people who receive, or a spiritual tie between the recipient. That is a topic really popular in the movies, that they usually, like get hard and then he's fighting for the feelings and stuff. So, okay, in conclusion, there is an issue, not only here in the United States, I think is around the world, that people is needing organs, and unfortunately for many issues, people is dying. So that's my topic. Thank you so much for